All right, perfect. Looks like we have just about everyone logged on here. So, welcome everybody. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Great to see you guys again. Today's session, we are going to be talking about and focusing on the listing management part of your Back at You office platform. So, show you where to find your listings and everything that you can do with your listings. We'll talk about property flyers, how to schedule open houses, and all of that good stuff here. So, let's go ahead and get started. As always, any questions along the way, please feel free to utilize that chat box over to the side there. I will keep an eye out, see if any questions come up during the session. I will also stop periodically as well, just to make sure that we're answering questions along the way. So let's go ahead and jump in and let's get started. So I am using my demo account today just because I do have a listing attached here. But whenever you log into your office account and it always takes you to your home dashboard, you are going to see a few different widgets here. You can go directly to your contacts and leads. You can see if you have any new messages, and you will be able to see if you have any active listings. So if I have any active listings, I can click on listings here and it will take me to all of my own listings. I can also click on listings on this left navigation bar and underneath for sale, click on listings here. It is going to open up to your listings and it will list out all of the current listings that you have. So it will show you the property type, the listing type, the MLS number, the address, list price, the status. All of this information is pulling directly from the MLS. So if I want to actually go in, start looking at the listing details, all you have to do is click on that specific listing here. Now it's going to open up your listing details tab. So we'll go through, as always, everything here on the details page. We'll talk about these links up at the top, and then we'll go through these tabs. So what's really cool is that once we have your listing in the system and we are pinging your MLS every 5 to 15 minutes, every MLS is different, just to get updated information. So whenever you get a new listing, we will automatically populate it here in the account. Once we have the listing in the system, we will then create what we call a details page and a showcase page for your specific listing. And this details page is the listing connected to your website. So this is going to take you to where the listing appears on your website. And then this showcase page is just a single property website that we create specifically for all of your listings. So details page is connected to your website, how someone can view your listing via your website. And that showcase page is a single property website. It's a standalone website to showcase your listing. So you have two different links here that you can utilize and promote. If you want to view each page, go ahead and click the little globe icon, which is the last icon in these areas. These are just little share buttons for you to share your listing out. Let's take a look at this details page. So this details page is going to direct me to my website where here's that listing information. Here is my agent information with a contact form. And all of this info is pulling directly from the MLS. Now that single property website, I'm going to click on that showcase page. This is just a singular website that we create for all of your listings where someone can search through the photos. If I had my virtual tour and 3D tour, those would be options here. All of this information is just pulling from the MLS. Here's that contact form. And then, of course, my information down at the bottom with additional information about that area. So you can easily share these links out. You can copy and paste these links from the URL, add them into your email signatures, whatever you want to do, but those links are easily available for you directly here. Now let's go ahead and work our way down. So working our way down, if you didn't add a virtual tour in the MLS and you want to add it through here, you can link your virtual tour, video tour, if it's a Matterport 3D tour, simply just add those links here and make sure you hit save. Always don't forget to hit that save button. And then those will be options for people to view via your website and that single property website. Scrolling down, I could add my seller. So remember, there's you can add your seller in the customer relations tab. When you're in that contact, there's that listings tab. You can connect your seller and their listing, but you can also do it here within the details page. So I can connect my seller here. I can type their name in. If they're in my CRM, I just select them, or I could easily add them to my CRM, clicking this little person icon, fill out their information here. So this is a second way I can add them. It's going to go ahead and add that seller. And working my way down, all of this information is just pulling from the MLS. So the MLS is always going to be the source of truth here. These images here, these are pulling from the MLS, but you can drag and drop them around if you want to rearrange them. Please definitely do so. You also have the option to upload additional photos here. But if you upload additional photos from your desktop, you'll get this confirmation message. And it's basically saying that by uploading photos via your desktop, we will actually stop pulling in any photo updates from the MLS. And this is just because since we are pinging your MLS every 5 to 15 minutes for updated information, and the MLS is a source of truth, if you're uploading photos and we ping for new info, we're just going to re-download those photos from the MLS. Those photos that you uploaded are going to go ahead and disappear, and we don't want that to happen. So if you're uploading additional photos via your desktop, maybe your MLS only allows you to upload 20 images or 30 images. You want to upload a few more, maybe some images of the neighborhood in the city. Then you can go ahead and upload that via your office account. And if you just want us to re-download the images from the MLS, there will be a little box here at the top saying re-download images from the MLS. But the MLS is always going to be our source of truth. And anything that you update or do here in your Office account, we do not send back to the MLS. So it is really just that one-way street. We're pulling in all of the information from the MLS, but any updates that you make in your Back at You Office account, we are not sending back to the MLS. So please keep that in mind. Working our way down, this is just all of the information for the listing here, listing details. Let's talk about this MLS remarks and this description box here. So you're going to see these two areas in your listing details page. The MLS remarks is the description that you have inputted into the MLS. So we are pulling this description from the MLS. We're going to copy and paste that description here in this description box. But let's say maybe your MLS does not allow you to include certain information. Maybe you cannot include builder information, but you really want to include that builder information because you know it's a popular builder in your area. You want to put that description out there so people know that. You can add that information here in this description box. Once you add that into this description and you save that, this is what we will display on your website and on that single property website here. So this is what is pulling in from the MLS, and we copy that here. But if you want to change up that description, add information that maybe you're not allowed to include on the MLS, such as that builder example, then you can attach that here in this description, and we will go ahead and display this description. And you can see here, we will not update the MLS description if you utilize this one. It is just that one-way street. We pull in the information. We do not send any information back. Working our way down, here's a little note section similar to your CRM. If you need if you need to make any internal notes about this listing, you can add that here. And now the story section. So when you create that portal account via your website, and I have my website pulled up, remember we created those My Portal accounts in that CRM session. When I create that portal account for my client and I connect them to their listing. So I turn their portal into a seller portal. When they log in, they have this option to see a property story. They can only see this if they have a listing connected to their account, meaning they are that seller. So they can click on this property story and they can write up a property story about their home. So maybe they have a really great story about raising their kids there. This home has been in their family for a very long time. Maybe they have maybe they live on a historic property in that city. Whatever that story is, you can add that here. Whether they go in and create that property story themselves via their portal account, you can also go in here, copy and paste that description or that story if your seller sends it to you in an email. But once the story has been added, it's always going to just stay as inactive. You, as the agent, actually have to make this active and then save it in order for this property story to display on the website. So this only displays on the website. It doesn't get added to the single property website, but it will display on the website here. And it really adds just that personal touch, a more personal story about that specific listing. If your client is adding that property story via their portal where I create my property story, I type it out here, I hit OK, you get notified that your client has added a property story for their specific listing. And we do not make it active or live on your website until you review it and you go in, you actually mark it active and you save it. This is because we want to make sure you review all of that information before it goes live on your website. We don't want your clients accidentally, not knowingly putting information that could put you in possibly breaking any compliance reasonings or anything. So we do want you to review that story before it actually goes live and people can see it on your website. Awesome, guys. So pretty straightforward. This is the listing details page here. Any questions about this listings details part? Awesome. No questions? Perfect, perfect. Okay, let's go ahead then and work our way down these links, and then we'll talk about these tabs here. So the showing request link here, this is if you want to utilize our system to track your showings. You can input this showing request link, and this just automatically gets created whenever your listing gets populated into your office account here. This link automatically gets created and you can copy this link. What this does is it allows outside brokers to go in and create a portal on your company website to request showings for your listings. It's really easy. You can see I copy and pasted that. They can go in, create a portal account, and then they can request showings for your listings here. This is only if you are going to be utilizing the platform to track any showings. In this account here, just since I'm showing the showing request link, if you are going to be using the system for showings, we do have a little showings tab for all of the listings. And you can easily create a showing request here. You set your showing options. Who do you want to confirm? The agents, the seller, and yourself by company. Do you want these to be auto accepted? Do you want to notify the seller of the showing request? Yes or no? Notify the listing agent? Yes. Do you have any showing instructions that you want to include here, such as please wear a mask, please wear or put on the gloves that you see at the front door, things like that. The directions is going to be geographical directions to the property. And then, of course, any additional notes that you want to include here. If you want to create a showing request manually, really easy. Just click create a showing request, type the agent name, I'm just going to type in another agent here. Going to automatically fill out their info. If I have my seller, oops, I forgot to save my seller in. So their seller information would appear here. Here is my name, the listing agent, the property. I choose the date of the showing, time. If I'm putting this in manually, I want to confirm it. I could even do a video showing here, depending on what type of showing it is. If it's a video showing, I can include the platform link. And then here are those instructions, the directions, those notes. Those should apply over from that main confirmation page. Once I save that and I look at my showings, here is that showing request. If I need to make any changes, cancel it, reschedule, I could easily do that. Can we input an office exclusive not in the MLS? So you as the agent will not have the capability to manually upload a listing, but your admin should be able to do that just because it's really based on like access level and capabilities. So your office admin should be able to add that in for you. Yep, no problem. All right. So then this next link up here is how I can create a property flyer for this listing, whether it's a flyer I want to print out, whether it's a flyer I want to email. I can easily click print email flyer. And since I'm already on that listing, it's going to be really easy. All I have to do is choose my template. Do I only want to look at email flyers? Do I only want to look at printable flyers? I choose my specific category. So maybe I want to do a just listed one, go through, choose a template, and then just hit select. Since we're in that listing details, it's automatically going to pull in those property photos here, that description, my agent information, but all of these boxes are clickable. I can change this information if I need to. And if I want to change up these photos, all you have to do is click on that photo. I can select from the different property photos that are pulling in from the MLS here. I can select from any company images. I can select from my own images that I've already uploaded, or I can even upload images directly from my desktop. Maybe for this, I just want to select a separate property photo. Let's go ahead and select this one here. When I save that, it will go ahead and update on that property flyer. So really easy because you're in the listing details. If you're creating that property flyer, just choose the template that you want to use and the system's going to pull in all of that information for you already. Now that you have your property flyer created, you're happy with the images, you're happy with the description here, you have a few different save options. You can save and get the HTML version of this. So if you are pretty tech savvy, if you want to encode this into, let's say, like your blog that you do, you can get that HTML version. You can save and print these out if you are going to go door knocking, if you want to have them with you at an open house you're hosting, you can save and print them out. Keep in mind that if you are going to print out anything, make sure your pop-up blocker is off. If you don't see anything appear, you'll probably see a little ad blocker icon that's tends to be in the URL bar at the end here. Just click on that and you'll be able to open up that printing pop-up that will appear. You can save and email this property flyer out to a list of contacts within your CRM. You can save and share this property flyer on social media. If you want to share it there, please do so. Or I could just save it and I can access it later. So if I save it, where can I find this property flyer? And next week, we are going to do that full session of the Marketing Center. But if you are saving property flyers to access later, you can find all of that in marketing in my saved content, whether it's under print marketing or e-marketing here. When I click into my saved content, here is that property flyer that I just created where I can edit it, I can share it, email, print it. I have all of those options here. So, really quick and easy to create those property flyers. Any questions on that show me request link or the print email flyer button here for your listings before we go ahead and move on? Perfect. Thank you. Okay, let's go ahead then and talk about open houses. So you can schedule out open houses to promote them on your website, to promote them on that single property website, and that will create either a sign in page if it's an in person open house or a register form, let's say if you're doing a virtual open house. So to schedule an open house for this listing, all I have to do is click this open house button here. And when I'm scheduling an open house, I have three options. Am I doing it in person? Am I doing a recorded video option? Maybe this is a recorded video that I want to make available only for a certain amount of time of an open house tour. Maybe I'm doing a virtual live stream open house. Whatever option it is, go ahead and choose that. We've added these last two options, the recorded video and the live stream, because we all know over the last year, the world has definitely changed. There are some areas that are allowing in person open houses, there are some areas that are not allowing in person open houses. And a lot of you guys had to adjust to going that virtual aspect. I know a lot of agents who said that they'll probably never go back to in person open houses. Virtual open houses are just easier. People don't have to leave their homes, they actually get a higher turnout. So, we wanted to make sure that whatever method you are using to host your open house, that you still can promote that. So let's say I am going to do a live stream event of an open house. I can even choose another agent to host that open house. So maybe I have someone else within my brokerage that's going to help me. I can choose their name here. I choose the date of the open house. Maybe Kristen's going to hold an open house for my listing on Saturday. And now I just choose my start time. Maybe this one's going to be from 10 a.m. to 12 here. And since this is a live stream event, I want to go ahead and include that link of where I am hosting this event through what platform. Am I doing it via Facebook Live? Maybe I'm doing a Zoom virtual open house, GoToMeeting, Google Hangout, whatever the platform is, just copy and paste that link here. Just going to put in a random link. And as I'm doing this, I can also schedule additional open houses. So maybe this one is actually going to be an in-person one. I'm going to host this one, and this is going to be on a Sunday, let's say from 9:30 to 12:30 here. I've easily created two open houses, chosen the type of open house that it is, when it is, who it's being hosted by, dates and times. All I do is hit finish. It's going to take me to this open houses tab where I can see all of the open houses that have been scheduled for this specific listing. So I see the dates, I see all of the start times and end times, and I can see who has been holding each of these open houses. Now, when I go back to my details tab here, it's going to have this green banner that's going to notify me of any and all upcoming open houses for this listing. We create open house sign in pages for your open houses here. So if it's an in person open house, you can grab that sign in page. This is great to have open on your laptop, on your tablet, and easily have people fill out their information when coming to your open house. So we do create that sign in page for you. That way, when people are visiting your open house, capture their information and they will automatically get populated into your CRM here. Additionally, let's say I am having another agent host that open house for me. How can they find that open house sign in? Because this is in my listings, this is in my listing details that really I only have access to as an agent since it's my own listing. They can access that when they click on listings here on the left navigation bar, and there's this open house section. When I click on open houses, I can now see all of the open houses that are currently scheduled for my company. So here is another listing, that listing agent. I can see these open houses. Here is my listing with my open houses that I have scheduled. And if I scroll down, I have more open houses here. If another agent is hosting this open house and they need to grab that sign-in sheet, they can go to listings, open houses, find that open house, click these three little dots, and grab that sign-in page. They can also email me the agent and they can also print that flyer. Since this is my listing, I have additional options here, such as I can edit or delete this open house, but I can only see that since it is my own listing. Any other agent will only see this print flyer option. They're hosting this open house for me. Maybe they want to print some flyers out. They can create that flyer. Same thing with emailing me or accessing that sign in page. Now that I have these open houses scheduled, what does that look like on my website and that single property website? So if I refresh these pages here, I can now see when someone's taking a look at this listing, any open houses that are scheduled for this listing. I can see the type. This one's a live stream event. This one's an in-person one. If it's a live stream, I can register for that live stream and I can input my information here. What's really cool is that if they register for the live stream event and they leave their email address, we will then send them that live stream event link. So that's why we ask you to enter it when you're scheduling that open house. That way, it saves you just that one extra step. We'll go ahead and send them that live stream event link so they already have it. Just going back and scrolling down, we show this in two different places here. So if I'm a user, I'm on your website, I'm looking at this listing, can see the open house information at the top, but as I scroll down, I can see open house information here. So I can still register or I can see that in-person date and time. Same thing for the single property website. Here is that single property website. I have that open house box. I can see when the in-person open house is. I can see that live stream open house. And same thing, I have a register button for that live stream open house. If I click on this, fill out the information, and then we will go ahead and send them that live stream event link. So it just adds additional ways for you to capture and display information for your listings to promote those open houses on your website and on that single property website here. Awesome. Any questions about that open house button there? How to schedule those open houses for your listings, where to find those sign in sheets, anything like that? Yes. So if an agent is printing or creating that property flyer from their office account, it is going to have that agent's information. So if they are not the listing agent, though, your listing agent info will still display on the property flyer. It will say listed by, but the bottom of the property flyer where it has the agent branding, that will just pull from that specific agent's account because they're using their own office account. So we're pulling in their headshots, their contact information if they're creating the property flyer. Does that make sense? Perfect. Yep. Awesome. Awesome, you guys. And in terms of that, you guys are going to have access to, like I mentioned, to if you're creating that property flyer, it will pull in your own branding if you're doing it from your account. But we always put who the listing agent is on those property flyers as well, too. Yeah. You guys are going to love the marketing section next week. The marketing section gets really, really fun. We'll talk about property flyers, creating postcards, all of that stuff a little bit more in depth too. So, okay, perfect. So, that was all of these links here. Don't worry about this delete link. I'm in my demo account. I have full admin capabilities. I see some stuff here that you guys aren't going to see on your own listings. But Don't forget, if you are making any changes, hit that save button. Always like to reiterate that because no one likes putting information and not saving it. Awesome. Let's go ahead and work our way down these tabs then. So, this next tab is the map tab. Whenever you get a new listing in the account, always come here. Just make sure it's mapped correctly. 90% of the time, it will be mapped correctly. But you can see in this instance, this listing that I have, it's a new build area. So, it is definitely not mapped out correctly. I would just drag and drop to where the correct area would be, and then I would save that. So doesn't hurt to check, but you always want to check that it's mapped correctly because that information displays on your website and on that single property website. So you just want to show that the area is correct. Next tab is this Actions tab. So similar to that Actions tab for your CRM, for your contacts and your leads, I can also schedule to-do items for my listing. This way I can get reminded to do these actions to promote my listing here. I can add an action plan. Action plan is going to be those series of events. You can do action plans for your contacts and leads. You can also do them for your listings as well. If you want to add an individual action item, all you have to do is click this plus new option here. And for your CRM, you only had an automatic system email action type, a follow up request, or you can add them to a campaign. You can see there's a lot of more options for your listings, and these are just going to be reminders for you. Do you want to set a reminder to order a marketing item? Order a marketing item, excuse me, such as those maybe just listed postcards. Do you want a reminder to share your listing on social media? Do you want a reminder to add your seller to your listing? All of these are just going to be reminders. So let's say I want to set one to order marketing item, can say order just listed postcards, add a description here, set a date. Maybe I want to be reminded of this tomorrow. And then the only difference here is the visible to seller option. So in my portal account or your client's portal account from your website, they can view any actions you have scheduled to do for their listing. So here are actions, individual actions, any action plans. This is just an old listing here, so these are going to be past due. But when it's asking me to make that action visible to my seller, this is what it means. Do I want to make these actions visible to my seller on their portal so I can be transparent and show them what I am doing to promote their listing or get their listing sold? Completely up to you. If I want to show my seller that I'm setting a reminder to order just listed postcards, I can keep this as yes. If this is just let's say a reminder to call your seller and check in, then you can mark that as no. Whatever it is, you can choose. Do you want to, how transparent you want to be? When I hit save, here's that individual action item. So if that is set to visible to seller, yes, my seller in their portal will be able to see that as an action item here. Same thing goes for your action plans. If you are adding an action plan to your listing, so if this is a new listing, I want to choose this action plan here. Here's some other ones. I can go ahead, click that action plan, attach that to this listing, and now I can go in, I could edit any of these actions if I don't think that it applies to this specific listing. Maybe I want to make this action not visible to my seller. I can also go in and change that and hit save. Or you can always go in, delete this one if you don't think that it applies. But these are all just actions for me to do for my listing. I can manage all of that through this actions tab or on that to-do gauge on my home dashboard. This next tab is going to be for attachments. If you want to attach any documents with this listing, This is where you can do it, easily upload a file. Once again, these are not going to be documents that are part of a transaction. These are going to be made public. So keep in mind, keep that in mind when you're choosing what documents you want to add here. If you want to add, such as like a plot map or property condition report, those would all be documents, appropriate documents that you can attach here with a listing. We've already talked about this open houses tab, the showings tab. Now let's go ahead and talk about this reports tab. This is where I can set up seller reports to send to my seller. And there's a few report features here. We'll go through all of that. First thing you're going to want to make sure is that your seller is connected to your listing. You could do that in a few different areas. First one is in your CRM. When you're in that contact details, there's that listings tab. You can connect them to their listing. Second place is on that listing details tab in that seller section. I forgot to hit save, so that didn't save here. Or you can add them here. So I'm just going to add my seller and I'm going to save that information. Now that I have my seller connected, I can start creating my seller report here that I want to send to them. If I want to CC anyone on this report, maybe you have a husband and wife that you want both of them to receive this report, you can CC those email addresses. You can choose, do you want to send this automatically, maybe every week, every 2 weeks, every 4 weeks, where this will just auto generate and auto send to your seller? You can choose that. If you do not want them to do not want to receive any seller reports, make sure this is set to do not send. You can always send it manually through this send option at the top. But just to make things a little easier, I want to do this automated and have it send every week. I choose my report features. So what do I want to include here? I want to show my listing details. If I'm using the showings, if I'm using the system to track showings, I can include that. Website activity, competition report, include referral reports, which means reports on how visitors arrived at my specific listing, can show that in a graph form. If I am sending competition information, I can actually choose the criteria for the competition. So I can set that price range, that square foot range, those bed and bath ranges, all of that I can set here. And I can set it up by location. So I can choose that. Make sure you save all of that information, and you can always view this report as well. So these seller reports really allow you to just keep your client up to date on their listing, how their listing is being viewed online, their website activity, where their listing has appeared in, listing details, competition activity. Really great material here. And all other listings in the area if you're setting locations. They can also view this information in their portal account. So, in their portal account, when you connect their listing, creates that listing activity, turns this into a seller account. I could see all of the actions if you're making it visible to your seller on what you are doing to promote this listing. I can see all of those analytics, how my listing is being viewed online, where my listing is being referred from, different website activities, my listing activities here. It's going to show me similar properties in the area, and I can see that competition report based on the competition criteria. So I can see this whenever I log into my portal account. When you set up these seller reports, though, then this will send it to your seller in an email version. So they don't have to log into their seller portal every single day, or at least once a week. They know that they'll receive that email from you on their seller report information that you've set here. So then they don't really have to log into their account, but they can always log into their portal account to view that info as well. Makes sense, you guys. Any questions on that? Do seller reports also pull view stats from other public websites such as Zillow, Realtor.com? I didn't see them on the report list. We unfortunately do not pull view stats from those websites because we can't track views from those websites since we are actually hosting your website and we can track people visiting your website since it's being hosted through our servers, then we can track those. So really good question. Unfortunately, we can't track the view stats from Zillow or Realtor.com, but we can track view stats from the website activity via your website. Can we add notes to the report, such as notes on comparables? Really good question. Right now, that is not a feature, but you know what? I will actually submit that to our product team because that is a great feature improvement request to include that, having like a little note section to add to that report. So not a capability right now, but I will actually pass that information over and submit that as an improvement request for these seller reports here because I think that's a really good idea. Awesome. And Monica, are you is that referring to pulling stats from Zillow and realtor.com? Just want to confirm that. So your office account, okay, perfect. Yes. So just to confirm for that question, if you want to pull view stats from other sites such as Zillow or Realtor.com, Monica mentions that you can actually access that info through your CB desk using the List Track app if you want, or Zillow and the MLS, but not Realtor.com. Sorry. Thank you for clarifying. And your office platform is mobile friendly. We don't have a mobile app just because it's hosted by a domain. You know, your office account, you actually log in to your own personal domain specific for your office, but it is mobile friendly. We do have a mobile version. So if you're using an iPhone or an Android, just go to your web browser. If you're using an iPhone, such as Safari, and then you can type in your office domain. This will go ahead and format for your mobile device. Awesome, you guys. And then, of course, this last history tab, we include this for your listings for your customer relations area. This is just a history tab. We want you to be able to track all actions that you're doing for your listing. So if you added an open house, if you scheduled an action to order those just listed postcards, all of that you can find in your history here. So if you need to go back and think about when you updated that description or anything like that, you can always find that here in your history tab. And that's it. It's pretty straightforward and easy, especially for the listing management area because majority of this information just gets populated for you. Do you want to show you on that home dashboard here? So now that I set up those action items, I can see all of those action items listed out for me to do. And I can see the property address. So if this was for a contact or a lead, then it would say the contact or lead name here. But since these are my to do items for my listing, I can easily see that listing. If I want to complete that action item, I can complete it. But this lists out all I have to do for for this specific listing. And if I click on this, it will take me to that listing details tab as well, where I can go into my actions and manage it here. All right, you guys. Any last questions about this listing management portion of the system? No questions? um, Any ideas you can share to promote agent websites to the public? Well, my recommendation would always be since you guys do have access to your social media center, I would promote your listings via your social media accounts as well, or your website, excuse me, on your social media accounts. When you are creating content, you can actually add that link to your website. Just remember when you are posting links to your Instagram newsfeed, they don't transfer over. But Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, all of those different social media sites, you're able to post links to, and then you can start promoting your website. Additionally, if you have listings in the system here, you can easily share this details page because this is linked to your website on these social media platforms. Yes, and utilizing those landing pages, especially that home value landing page on your website. Don't forget that you have this "What is my home worth?" home value landing page. So if you want to promote this out, this also gives a call to action for people to come visit your website because those calls to actions are important too. How are you going to get people to come to your website? I do know that this upcoming Monday, since we do host webinars weekly, and give me one sec because I'm going to pull it up for you guys. I believe this one that's upcoming on Monday focuses on this home valuation page via your website. And it is a great session. I'm grabbing the link here for you guys so you guys can see that. I'm going to post it here. And I believe Kristen, our other training specialist here, she's going to talk about how to customize, edit this, and the best ways to promote this online as well. Also, if you have like want to direct people to the for sale area, if you have specific listings you want them to take a look at, you can always share these links, and that will direct people to your website here. Awesome, guys. Any last questions? Thank you, Monica. Yes, just as a reminder, make sure you update your social media accounts and your Google business pages with your new agent website address too. So definitely keep that in mind. If you need to grab your website address in your profile, so I go to my account and profile, you do have your website address here. And this is your website address URL. Copy and paste it. Make sure you update that in all the necessary places. All right, you guys. Well, that is all I have for you. I'll stay on the line as always, see if there's any last minute questions here. But other than that, thank you so much as always for your time today. Next week, we are going to be going through the Marketing Center, one of my favorite sessions, a lot of capabilities there, and it really starts to tie in everything together. The website, your CRM, the listings part, marketing pulls that all in, so one of my favorite sessions, really, really looking forward to it. So I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day and I'll speak to you soon. Have a great day, everyone.